Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Spence, TSPN TV News Desk, and I'm here with Tammie Crabtree from the Operation Care business. We call it Operation Care. That's the official title.
Yes.
And you are the Executive Director of Operation Care.
I am.
Well, welcome to the news desk. This is pretty informal. Thanks for coming over, Tammie.
Thank you.
You know, we have incredible guests here, and, you know, always the executive directors of all the agencies have a lot to share, you know, with our viewers, and there's always something that we don't know, and I don't know a lot about Operation Care, but I know that Alan's going to fish up a picture in a bit, and I'm going to show you. I did go over to your last event, and you guys have events all the time here in Jackson and Amador County. And I went over for the free cupcakes, I think. I'm not sure what it was, but it was Denim Day.
Right.
I remember I was in denim. Now, oh, there it is. Look at that. I was in denim, top and bottom, huh? And I know a little bit about Operation Care. I'm just teasing you a little bit because it's a very important organization here in the area. And I know you deal with a lot of different subjects, and we can discuss a few of those. But you're not a county-funded organization. You're an independent operation.
We're a nonprofit. We're funded by CalEMA, and we do have some foundation grants also that fund us, and then, of course, the community support with fundraising and donations from the community.
You can say that a little louder. Community support with fundraising.
Yes, that's huge.
Important part.
It is. It's a really important part. Every year we're tasked with raising a match to our grants, and it's usually about 20%. So that could be in upwards of $60,000 when you look at all of our grants that we have and that we're accountable to the state for. And so community support really shows that the community backs what we're doing, and they have an interest, and they're stakeholders in our organization.
Well, to become executive director of any of these agencies, you have to have a long-term commitment. And you were originally from Amador County, I imagine? I
was. I moved here in 1980 and moved away, you know, in my late teens. And my husband is from here, and we eventually moved around the country in the military, and we brought our daughters back so they could attend school here. And so we do have roots here.
Your two daughters went through Amador High School. That's how I know you were originally from the area.
They did.
And they're both, one is in the Army and another one joining the service in the Army too as well?
Yes, I have a 21-year-old daughter. She's an engineer in the Army, and I have an 18-year-old who will leave it for basic in August, and she'll be an MP. So we're really proud of both of them.
I bet you are. I bet you are. That's pretty exciting stuff to see them so committed and serving their country and doing a duty that very few kids get an opportunity to do. You know, your subjects and areas that you focus on, in terms of some of them being domestic violence, and a lot of these young kids here in the area. What is statistically, what's the biggest topic that you deal with at Operation Care?
We deal with domestic violence. That would be our main issue that we deal with. We do services for domestic violence, sexual assault, and we have a safe house. The safe house is a place that we try and keep undisclosed. It is a small community, so sometimes that information gets out. We prefer it doesn't. But, you know, we have to take precautions when we have something like a safe house where you're housing people who are escaping a dangerous environment. So, of course, with that, we have security cameras, and we have on-site staff that actually lives at the safe house. And but our biggest outreach for this community is the domestic violence. Not that we don't see sexual assault. For our community, I'd say the numbers are fairly high. You know, just as far as the sexual assault victims that we serve, they're not necessarily victims that go to law enforcement, but they come to us for whatever resources we can provide for them. So I think that overall, all of our programs, I'd say we deal with domestic violence, sexual assault, and safe house on a daily basis.
And how many people at a time do you have in the safe house? I mean, is it half a dozen, 2 or 3?
I believe for the last 2 years we have not had a night where the house did not have a person in it, whether it was a single woman or children. But we've had over 1,500 bed nights last year, so that means 1,500 nights somebody, you know, multiple people could have been in the house. Each person that stays a night counts as a bed night. And so we can house up to 14 women and children, and we do house men. Some people may not realize that, but we do. Sure. We don't house them at the house, but we do have other resources that we can use to house a man who's escaping as well.
Well, 1,500 too many. in my opinion. Yeah, both men and women, it seems to be a sign of unbalance, at least from my experience. It's an unbalanced value system, an unbalanced lifestyle, and that put people into these positions. And our economy hasn't had a lot to do in terms of helping it out either. In the last 8 years, it's been a little more pressure in terms of jobs and job loss. I've had some experience years past. I was spent some time in the Mendocino area, and they had a hotline, a domestic violence hotline, who some friends had kind of manned, and I saw a little bit about what was going through there, and my experience with that was just eye-opening. How many calls they were getting, because the lumber industry, the fishing, the salmon industry was being cut back, and all of these people were ending up in the bars all day, drinking all day, combining it with all of their stress and depression, and whether it be male or female, it all just kind of cycles. And when we come out of an economic downturn that we've been in for the last 7 or 8 years, I would imagine you'd have a lot of bed nights. It's a critical service to be able to provide. Where are your offices located, your main office?
Our main office is at 619 New York Ranch Road in Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And we do have an office in Pine Grove. I don't have that address offhand, but we do have an office. If somebody calls from the Pine Grove, Pioneer, sometimes even West Point area, and they can't make it to town, we can arrange to meet them in Pine Grove. And so that's helped, with the transportation issue. The buses don't always go when we need them to go.
Right.
Everyone's working with budget cuts, so everyone does the best they can. So having that country office has helped.
Budget cut, you make it on a shoestring. What are you worried about budget cuts
I know.
for? You probably drive out and pick them up yourself.
We do. We actually have a crisis line that runs 24 hours a day, and so people,
man it.
We have our staff. We have a staff of 10, and actually our entire staff is trained and certified advocates at this time. And when people are sleeping, our advocates are up, picking up those women, those children, answering those calls, answering those questions. And the good thing about the crisis line is we don't have your personal crisis may not be ours, but we treat it just as much value as you have in that moment. If that's a crisis for you, we're going to help you get out of it. So that's how we look at it.
And how do they call you? What is the crisis hotline number?
The number is 209-223-2600.
223-2600?
Yes, and
that's an easy one to remember.
24 hours a day. There's somebody always answering that line.
I'm sure you put that on all sorts of little placards at your booths and,
we do.
And things. And you have a lot of different events coming up, but we're going to take the second half of the show and kind of talk about all the great activities that you guys have and how people can get involved with Operation Care, and we'll do that in the second half. But I just want to talk more about you a little bit.
Okay.
And all the, these efforts, when you have the statistics, and you look at these different numbers, you're not piggybacking and involved with behavioral health and county funds and everything. This is a completely separate operation, although you work together. But you guys are really doing a service kind of independently.
Right.
And so it's super important that people get involved in terms of our community and going out there with their denim, eating cupcakes.
Right.
Being there is a big part of it if you get even a couple. You have a board meeting coming up, I know, this afternoon, and this is a live show.
Right.
So if you're doing nothing right now and watching us, then maybe you should go this afternoon at 4:30? What time?
4:30.
4:30,
yes.
Where's the board meeting going to be?
It will be at our office at 619 New York Ranch Road, and we encourage the public to come and at least find out what we're about. You may not need the service for yourself, but I guarantee at some point somebody will need it.
It's an important service to know about, and that board meeting is open to the public, and they encourage people to come and just investigate in terms of finding out what Operation Care is all about, and having that fresh in your mind in terms of knowing what you can do to help, and in a situation that comes up where you can help, you're educated.
Right.
As to what Operation Care is all about. And coming to that board meeting would be cool this afternoon. I'll be there at 4:30. And, that's over on New York Ranch Road. But, your area that you service, you take, I would imagine, people from Calaveras County as well. And, you don't have to be from Amador County to call you for help.
No, we take people from all over. You'd be surprised. All over the state, actually. We've helped people. If shelters are full in other counties, we take their women for them.
Overflow.
and sometimes it's a safety issue for them in that county, they come to us. So our doors are pretty much always open, and if we can't help you, we help you find somebody who can. We don't just send you out on the street to, fend for yourself. We do have a wealth of resources, and our staff's well-versed on where to send people.
Yeah, the people, your whole group over there at the, manning the booths, obviously, you have a lot of friendly folks.
Yeah.
The board meeting is not going to be that stiff and
No.
stuffy. You guys are really a nice group to
Yeah.
Be a part of, and,
Yeah.
what a great staff to have.
Oh, they're excellent.
Awesome.
It's nice to have people who really love what they're doing because it shows in their work. And, we love doing what we do.
Yeah.
So it's really a passion for all of us.
Well, to see people's lives and how they're changed in one incident or one moment, I won't say moment in time, that's redundant, but the, one moment of their life, it can change everything.
Right.
And, to be there at that specific time in the way that you are, and to have the funding available to you to take care of these folks, I'm sure, means a lot to, saving someone's life at that particular time. You
does.
should be pretty excited about that.
Oh, we
How long
are.
have you been doing it?
7 years.
7 years. That's how long
Yeah.
you've been committed.
Yeah.
We're going to come back and we're going to talk more about the activities that you have coming up with Operation Care. And I'm with Tammie Crabtree. And Tammie Crabtree, that sounds good too, but Tammie Crabtree, Executive Director of Operation Care, and very fortunate to have her with me, so please stay tuned, and we'll come back after the break. We'll talk more about the Operation Care activities and events coming up.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.